The Escorts, episode number 6. This is a wild world where there was no magic, but then all of a sudden a decision was made. Now there's magic. Kinda. Also, sanity. As you realize that the tear between the reality you've known for your life and the reality that is there now is tenuous at best, and since he wasn't with us last time, Mr. Eric, I need you to give me an ability score roll. 46, drop the lowest. It will not be on your D&D Beyond sheet, but there is a new ability score that you have called Sanity.
Bet you can't guess which one of us failed the first check.
Probably you.
You would be right on.
Certainly.
And while you're rolling that, I'm going to go ahead and talk about everything. Well, last week was oh, that doesn't sound good at all.
That's an 18.
Oh, that sounds really good. So last week we had a wild ride, and we had I was out and about a lot last week, and also there was something that occasionally people ask me to talk about, and it happens once a year. I really don't make a big deal of it, but apparently other people think it's kind of important, so I turned another year older. So there's that on Friday. So this week, a couple things I want to talk about. One, Nerdsmith. We have a new show coming up on Wednesday nights with Nerdsmith, teaming up with them to do Obscurum. It is City of Mist, which is the game system. It is powered by the Apocalypse, so it's a lot like Monster of the Week and others, where it's a 2d6 game. It'll be a crime noir style feel set in the 1940s and 50s. Also coming up in the month of October, Nerdsmith is going to be doing the Nine Hells, which is a descent into Avernus series. We are going to be setting our one-shots in either Baldur's Gate, Avernus, or both, and I am going to be running the second game that they have, tryouts, because we will need 40 some odd people. Player requests are going out. I will be posting up the link for that. If you would like to jump on board and become a player, we plenty of room, so feel free to jump in. Every one of the DMs are fantastic. There's Kyle Gold of Tavern Tales, myself, Ren, and a bunch of others, and it's going to be fantastic. CJ of D20, I can't remember what it is now. But anyways, there is a lot of us out there that do this for a living, or at least, our namesake, are going to be involved in this project. There are 12 games in all, 4 players maximum for each one. And it's spread out throughout the month of October, starting September 30th. And then October 3rd is the second game, which is the one that I'm running in. And I've already got 2 players down because they came to us and said, here's what we have available. And I'm super excited about it. And I'll reveal more later on as we get closer to that time. Also, we have our own shows on Tuesday night. We are still running the Holocaust of the Ekajati, which is Esper Genesis, with our DM Jason. We have one more episode, at least, I think, of Icons on Wednesdays that is also being run by Jason.
Yes.
And at that point in time, we'll be trying to figure out what else we're going to do for Wednesday Night Showcase.
Big Eyes, Small Mouth, run by V.
Big Eye, Small Mouth, run by V. So that is a 3 attribute system, and it is pretty wild. I've played it a long time ago, and it's pretty much, I want to use that skyscraper as a weapon. Okay, you can do that. And it was amazing. So that's going to be run by V. And then we have on Thursday nights, Maddie, who is running Curse of Strahd, and you guys are pulling some pretty ballsy stuff out of that game. So I've heard some of the stories, and I'm just like, what now? What?
Yeah,
I got to uproot a tree. All I know is that was a lot of fun.
That's how they got rid of the tree, Cap. Is Nyx grabbed a hold of it and pulled it out of the ground.
That was a lot of fun. A tree.
The Gulfus.
The Gulfus tree out of the ground.
Yep.
Yeah. I got the large spell done on me.
And then they yeeted it down the hill and set it on fire.
That'll work.
That's the
On-
obvious course of events.
If you're local to me on Thursday nights, I run a live game, an ongoing campaign where they are taking down a criminal organization known as the Noose in a small town. I say small town. It's not small. It's medium sized. But they are vastly approaching the last of the lieutenants to take out, or quickly approaching the last of the lieutenants to take out. On Friday nights, if you're looking for some fun, I am back again at Lucky Dice Cafe, and I am running one-shot adventures on every Friday, and it's a different game system. Last week, I ran Monster of the Week. Next week, I'm running 5th edition D&D. We had a lot of fun. It was super creepy as I made them fight down this like elongated limbed tall hag thing that would like scramble up the wall, and then anyways, it was creepy. And I loved every second of it. So that's all at Lucky Dice Cafe. And then on Sundays, I am there every other week for Adventure League. And the weeks that I'm not there for Adventure League, I am playing in my friend Sarah's game, on Ars Mythica. So twitch.tv/Ars Mythica. I usually broadcast when I'm going live on that. Where my character died after losing his pact with his patron. We're given the opportunity to be resurrected. He was like, no, you know what? I've reached the inevitability of it all. I think I'm good. And that means that I brought back an old familiar character, at least familiar to some of you, as Brimlow Hanagar made his appearance at the tavern singing a salty song about losing his heart to a lass whose ass was a work of art, but her top part was a bass. So he's had a lot of fun playing I've had a lot of fun playing as Brimlow, and so you can catch me doing that every other Sunday on Ars Mythica, so twitch.tv/Ars Mythica. That's ARSMYTHICA. Please tune in to Ars Mythica because they are actually a Extra Life charity drive. They help they donations to their Extra Life go toward the Children's Hospital in Birmingham, which is near and dear to my heart because my son, who suffers from juvenile idiopathic arthritis, has spent a lot of time in the hospital in Birmingham. So I know that any dollar is great to donate to them because of just all the help that they provide. So if you pop over there and see them, not to mention you donating actually gets you to do cool things like bring back any character, both NPC or PC. So, oh, you took out the big bad evil guy. No, you didn't. And back they come.
You thought.
Yeah, exactly. You thought. Let's see. Next convention that you can see a large amount of us at. I have confirmed Maddie is going to be there. Maybe. Yeah, no, definitely.
Yep.
Maddie is going to be there. I'm going to be there. And whoever else I can twist the arm of. V, I think, is going to be there.
V and Mom are going.
Hopefully.
So V and Mama Bear is going to be there. So we'll be at Winter Fantasy in February. In Fort Wayne, Indiana, which is all D&D. It's all just Dungeons and Dragons all week. There's not a huge vendor floor, but it's still all D&D all the time. I'll be there running games, so come by and see me. And anything else you guys have come up? I know you we'll see. You did a con, 2 weeks ago?
Ish.
2 weeks ago-ish. I don't have any others in the area because of HamaCon. We don't have MiniCon this November, so I don't have anything else until then.
EGLX coming up, but I don't know if I'm going to be doing anything at it.
Other than just being there?
Yeah, my plan is to cosplay, but I might just pull up an old one.
All right. Also, as always, would love to give a huge shout out to D&D Beyond for giving us access to their tools and supporting us in what we do. They're fantastic. Go by and get yourself a sub. Purchase your stuff. Also, if you buy the Essentials Kit, which is the new starter set, which has a 1v1, so a DM and one player campaign setting in there, or not campaign set, but an adventure in there. And then you can also run Lost Mines of Phandelver and pick up any of the adventures that are in the Essentials Kit, which comes with 2 or 3. You can also take the code from the Essentials Kit and apply it to your D&D Beyond. So you can take your paper copy and move it to your electronic. They have a lot of great things. I like them because, one, they're local. They're run by a company that is here locally to me. And so that means I get to see a lot of them face-to-face. But yeah. Let's see. I think that's the last of my pimping out services. I'll be coming up with... Nope, I missed one more. Play to Fight Brain Cancer has reached out to me and has asked me, hey, what do you want to do? I'm going to send you the links for everything you need so that way you can get the donations going. With that coming up, I'm going to find out more details, and I will be putting together a small crew to run something for that. So that's the last of my announcements for now. Last week, and I'm going to have to say one more thing. I'm so sorry, guys. I have been fighting being sick. So if I look tired or I sound off, I apologize. I'm not inhuman. I actually get sick every once in a while. And even though they tell me to slow down and take care of myself, I just scoff at them and keep going. Die young and leave a beautiful corpse. Anyways, with that being said, I apologize if I'm coughing because I don't have I can press a quick mute on this thing. It's a very nice microphone, but it does have its drawbacks. All right, last week, they explored a keep and found that skeletons were real, which kind of tore their minds asunder for a little bit, or at least for a very split second, except for Mello, who went, what? After exploring the keep and realizing that it's been abandoned, it's in some disrepair, they actually found the title of ownership to it, along with a crown and a sword and a journal. They then made their way to Mount Alona, and where they went to the blacksmith to try to get some armor resized. Only the blacksmith told them, this is made out of wood. I can't work with this. Go see the carpenter. So they went to go see the carpenter, a gentleman by the name of Stuart Liff. And he was an individual, to say the least. Like, I'm surprised myself where I came up with these things sometimes. But they met Stuart, and he regaled them with many words, the best words, all the best words, about what to do while they were here in town. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and start tonight's game. Welcome, everyone, to the Escorts. Stuart told you there were two places that you can go to in town to take a rest. You can go to the tavern, or you can go to the boarding house. The boarding house is at the edge of town. The tavern is closer to the middle of town. One is going to have a decidedly more things to do and people to see than the other one. So, where would you like to go first? Not everybody all at once.
You know, I think Mello might need to get a
Beer?
drink
Yeah.
after that encounter of the supernatural kind. Fucking curl up in a ball, start crying. I can't believe you.
As I started trying to talk while I was muted.
Yeah.
But we technically already had one.
We technically already have what?
Already had one. An encounter with the supernatural.
It's...
There are supernatural beers?
Yes! And you know what?
No.
I bet you we can find one at the tavern for you to drink.
Heavenly IPA.
I mean, if that has any, entry requirements, I think I'll pass, but, boozem halls.
Didn't Mello promise Stuart that he would play at one of the bars?
I did.
So why don't we go to the...
I'm nothing if not a man of my word.
Then wouldn't staying by the tavern be a good idea? I feel like I'm gonna get smacked for even mentioning it now.
I mean, we're not, staying in the basement, right?
I don't think so.
Okay, Mello.
I've
Let's go
apparently
get you a drink, because you really need one.
I've apparently spent the entirety of the past day cataloging everything that's happened so far in my head, so I don't know where we are right now.
Well, we're in a town called Mount Aliana.
Mount Iliona.
Okay.
And that lovely gentleman,
Mm-hmm.
Me?
not you, the one who's the carpenter, his name is Stuart Liff.
Oh, he sure is.
And he has directed us that there is a place for us to find rooms in a boarding house in town. And the tavern, where we might be able to procure refreshments and food. One of which somebody in this party sorely needs after he basically sat on the floor, wrapped his arms around his knees, rocked back and forth, saying, "This isn't real, this isn't real, this isn't real."
He did do a really cool slide, though, that killed some of the skeletons. One of the skeletons?
I'm still not entirely convinced any of you are real. I mean, look at you.
I look exactly the same. Nothing changed about Satiel at all.
Of all of you, he looks the most the same.
Not a damn thing changed about him, really.
So Starry just got an ear job.
I feel like that
Yeah.
should be like a Hollywood doctor thing.
Yeah,
Ear
Well,
jobs from Hollywood doctors.
I feel
Usually
like that's
answer-
probably a thing.
Usually inns are good places to, rest, get food, as you said. So that would be where I would go.
Thank you for the sub, Ars Mythica. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah.
Real quick, to interrupt the narrative, don't forget that this is September, so you get your subs for half off on the subscribers. So you have a Twitch Prime, and feel free to throw it our way. We'd appreciate it very much.
Yeah.
All right, so to the tavern then.
Although as we walk, Satiel will sort of walk over towards the stars, like, so, was this about a sword?
Oh, this one. And she's gonna point to
Uh-huh.
the one that's on her back that is wrapped up in cloth.
Not like Wonder Woman.
Okay. I seem to remember something about you needing me to do something with it.
Oh, yeah, I just need you to take a look at it, because it's really cold to the touch.
Also,
Like-
just like,
I'm
Like,
pretty
it's just-
sure Mello would start screaming in agony considering how hot he runs if I touched him with this sword.
Did one of you jerks just say marrow?
No!
so.
No, oh my god, Mello, just walk to the tavern. Just she's just gonna like put her hands on his back and just push him forward, like, let's
Okay.
go get you a drink, it's
Well-
fine.
If you want that done in any concise span of time, I do need to find a pearl first to use as a foci.
Poke him with it for a second.
Okay, well, I'll
Specifically one that's about 100 gold worth in terms of purity.
How did I guess? Well, we did find a set of combs. I don't know if the pearls on that would be any good.
You ain't touching my hair.
Sure, let me
Mello,
take a
I don't
look.
want your hair.
Well, it's full of my hair now, ain't it?
I mean,
Wait a minute.
I guess. But if the pearl is worth or of the right purity, you'll find out what is up with the sword.
I only need.
You already
well,
know it sucks. What more do you
here's
want to know?
Here's the thing. When it comes to items that are imbued with magical enchantments or to be used as foci for rituals or various magical effects,
I think you've
there
lost
is a
him already.
ritual that I know that as long as I have a pearl with a purity of about
Mellow's
100
eyes
gold
are
or
just-
so, yeah, I know.
He's just like,
I can use that as a foci myself to decipher all of the arcane scribing runes and glyphs that happen to be woven into the matrix of the object itself to be able to get a better read of what effects that object might have.
that in character.
No. No, that
I feel
was
like
me
I should
out
be
of
writing this
character
down for a
because I'm
test later.
I'm running on 2.5 hours of sleep.
All right, so
Well,
as you make your way over to the tavern,
Sorry. Not
as
sorry.
you make your way to the tavern, you can see that the town is starting to wind down. The patrons of the tavern themselves look mostly like sturdy folk, both that of dwarven and human build, but all of them seem to be salt of the earth people. You can see that their clothes are covered in slight bits of mineral dust or things like that. But they are a super cheery people. as you watch, they kind of gather in droves at certain tables. They shake hands and cheer one another. It is about this time that you can all hear like a whistle, like a large steam whistle blowing somewhere in the distance. Just this. The tavern, which was filling up with a few people, suddenly the doors are open and propped open, and you can see people starting to pile in by the throngs. There is a cacophony of sounds of people having conversations left and right. The smell of earth and loam and rock and dust kind of fill the air around you suddenly, drowning out the smell of spilled beer and food being cooked in the back of this tavern. You also look out the streets. You can see people are moving up and down the streets, heading to their homes, their places of dwelling, and other such things.
Real quick, what is the name of this town again so I can write it down?
Mont Elona. MONT space ELONA. Mont Elona.
Okay, thank you.
All right. As you gather around, it's nearly standing room only, which explains why it is a lot of those tavern or the tall tavern tables, which are, there's no seats on them. It's just they are pretty much like standing on, leaning on them. Several servers come bouncing around the room, carrying trays, setting down beers, and yelling out, "The usual!" Yeah. And then you can see as people start to get served left and right. One of the servers, a young man with just an unkempt shock of brown hair that kind of just spills down over his ears, pops over and says, "I guess you're all thirsty, huh? Probably hungry?"
Yes, I am actually.
We got stew and roast, and we got these little hard crackers that they make back there in the back. It's a favorite around here. They got this little sauce that you dip it in and eat it all. It's pretty good. And then we got cold beer, warm beer, wine, ale.
Water?
I'm sorry?
What? Water?
Water? I can get you a glass of water. All right.
Out of character, are we sitting at a table, or are we just like standing off somewhere?
There are no tables to sit
tables
at.
at all.
They're
Okay,
all
so
they're all those tall tables that you stand at.
Oh, okay.
Like you can rest your arms on them. There's no stools around them.
Okay.
It is
I would like to try
literally.
those crackers.
All right. So he says crackers then. All right. Any of you want anything else?
27 crackers, individual crackers, and warm beer.
A warm beer. Okay. And how many crackers?
26.
Specific.
You said 20.
Can I just get you like a scoopful?
Yes, you can.
He can count them as he eats them.
Okay. And
That's-
The rest of
Okay, I can do that.
okay. The rest of you want any stew or?
I
And
wouldn't
like a
Anything?
large basket of crackers.
I wouldn't mind some stew and some water.
Water, okay,
And stew. Yes, please.
and stew.
do
Bunch
you
of
have
crackers.
any special beverages here? Specials
The
Like,
crackers.
for beverages?
I don't know what you mean in particular. Anything you're looking for, like
No, just being
Cold.
adventurous.
cold beer, warm beer, ale, wine.
Brewed exclusively within a copper vein.
No, brewed by the brewer here in town and then brought over. I'm just gonna be right back. And he just kind of makes his way through the crowd.
Yeah.
You can start to see again more of the workers for the mines pour in. You see the two dwarves that were running the forge make their way in. They're each carrying these like flat boxes, and as they get to the table, you watch as they both kind of like throw them out, and they fold out. They put them down and stand on them so that they can rest their arms on the table.
That's
about
actually.
About 10 minutes pass, and he finally comes back over, setting down several baskets made out of wicker, lined with like this cheesecloth. And you see that there are crackers that are stacked in there rather nicely. They're like golden brown with white. They aren't. They're not salted or anything else like that. The stuff that he puts down in there has this kind of a unique orange, zesty looking color to it. And he's like, "There you go." And he sets, like I said, 3 baskets of the crackers down. Sets down 2 glasses of water, a warm beer, a bowl of stew, a cold beer, and a small glass about that tall with it, and pushes those towards Tangaroa. And for the elf, he didn't know, so he brings over a glass of red wine and puts it down and just kind of shrugs at you and walks away.
Well, Satya will snag a cracker and just sort of hold it up to his shoulder as the owl just nibbles through the cracker, and then he will sort of get started on his stew.
Okay. For those of you who are trying them, they're basically like a pita chip or like an unleavened bread that's been cut up and then baked. The sauce that's there is not overly spicy, but it's creamy at the same time. And it has this kind of it's not tomato. There's something in there that's a little different. Some vegetable that's been minced down to a pulp and then mixed with in there. But it's zesty and it's good. It's savory. And like I said, the dish is about that big around that he brings it to you. And it goes quickly.
Fair enough.
Oh, yeah. Tonga's gonna look over at Satya and is like, "You wanted a pearl?"
Yes.
Pearl.
It has to have about 100 gold worth of purity to it, otherwise the spell won't fully take effect.
Well, I don't know about like price or anything like that, but I do have and he like takes off. He's wearing a bracelet that's like seashells, like seashells and like little pearls, like maybe like 5 pearls, like all around. And he hands it. And he's like, "I don't know if any of these quite that, but you're welcome to check." And he like,
"Sure, if you don't mind."
That's all I have.
One of the two of you give me a percentage roll. You choose.
It is. I would say it's Tangaroa's bracelet, so I'll leave it in their hands.
Percentage roll.
I don't have a D100, so. I got a 60 and a 2, so 62.
They're worth something, but none of them come on a single one come to the value that you're looking for.
Okay. He'll take it. He'll look at it.
They're nice.
These are very nice. You picked some.
You just found them. I just pulled them out of the ocean. They're not. I didn't buy them anywhere.
You definitely picked some nice pearls. Unfortunately, I don't think any of them have the kind of purity I need in order to keep the spell in effect. I'm sorry.
Pure.
Thank you for the offer, though. I very much appreciate it. And he'll hand the bracelet back.
I'm sorry, I couldn't be more of a help, but.
Zastari, in all of this, what are you doing? There's a throng of people in this tavern right now.
My fingers are getting itchy.
She's over here doing this right here.
Yeah.
Did she touch something that has irritated her skin? I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yes,
she got into the poison ivy. She needs to wash her hands.
Dip them in oatmeal.
Yeah.
Stick 'em in his...
No, I had enough of those when I had the chicken pox. Hard pass.
Oatmeal baths.
god, it was the worst, man. Honestly.
Tonka has already finished his beer.
And the shot?
The shot. Alright, sure. Yeah, that's gone too.
She's gonna kind of take a look around, see if there's anything loose. Anything just kind of there. She's not
Sure.
looking for anything specific. She's gonna take a walk around the crowd, kind of chat with people, learn a little bit more. And while she's doing so, taking things from people because
That's what she do.
that's what you do.
Give me a sleight of hand check, please.
You got it. That's an 8 total.
Unfortunately to say, the first natural 20 of the night goes to yours truly.
Uh-oh.
Jostling through the crowd using deftness and skill, you are able to lift a few coins. However, as you come across a rather large-looking human dressed kind of slovenly, you reach in for what you assumed would be a coin purse.
I'm afraid.
And immediately there's a jolt. You're not sure, but your hand retracts quickly. Unfortunately, he spins around and looks at you with his eyes wide. He immediately tries to grab your hand. Dexterity saving throw.
That is an 18 on the die plus 6 for 24.
All right, he is slow, given his larger size and your more nimbleness, and grabbing your wrist, but immediately starts shouting and pointing. We got a thief amongst us. Don't let her out of here.
A thief? My good sir. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm just trying to get through the crowd. If you think somebody's stealing from you, maybe you should check those standing at your own table.
Give me a deception check, please.
Can Ezra also be making his way over to like step up behind her as well?
Absolutely.
That's a 9.
Okay, that is a 19 on the inside check.
Fuck.
So he goes, you mean these men that I've known for my entire life are going to steal from me? And that's some unknown entity that comes out of nowhere? And you can now see that you have drawn a small crowd that have encircled around you. Ezra, you are going to have to start kind of meander, pushing your way.
He won't even like use his hands at all. He'll just like sort of like arms down, pushing his way through. You're afraid to cut somebody.
Like Shrek through the barriers, just moving through them. Just people around you, just caught up in there. He says to you, Zastari, you know, we can deal with this in one of two ways. You give us back what you owe us and a little bit extra for your troubles. Or we can beat you to a mess and then take it from
It's cute that you think that you are going to beat me when you can't even catch me because you're too fucking drunk. And 2, they didn't take anything from you.
Deception check again.
That is a 23.
Okay. He narrows his eyes. However, the crowd is now on his side. Because hometown advantage.
Of course.
He looks at you and says, maybe you didn't. From me. The rest of these fellas, they don't think you're as honest as that. But what do you say, young lady? You gonna give us back what you took? Or are we gonna take it back from you? And yeah, you're right. I didn't catch your wrist, but we got the advantage. And he kind of points, and you can see there's about 6 spaces around you. We got the numbers advantage. So what are you doing? And he kind of stops for a second as he sees this figure moving through the crowd. Just pushing his way through.
Well, you see, one, you'd have to prove I took anything, which I didn't. And two, again, I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
Okay, Rorschach. With that, he just kind of looks at his friends and nods. And I need you to go ahead and roll for initiative, please.
Fight!
I just wanted to get drunk in peace.
I don't want to fight.
You don't want to fight.
I don't want to fight.
You know who you're dealing with here.
It's coming over. Maybe just stand there. Say, please
We all roll
stop.
for initiative?
How about no? Don't do it.
Listen, sir.
Hang
Not.
on just a second. I just need to find the correct. Well, are you going to get involved in this altercation at all?
Oh, I probably am. A lawful good boy.
I mean, I guess. That's a big D20. Who is a freaking monster? Is that Cap?
No. I'm rolling a D20.
Oh, is it a metal one?
Just a normal one.
Oh,
no, but I got
it sounded like 20 pounds.
I threw it really hard.
Oh, okay.
They're all metal dice. It's just.
Sounds like loading a gun.
Oh, the metal one are much louder, which is why
I just have this mental image of Cat now just going, roll for initiative.
Roll for initiative.
Stuart, help us. Save us.
Well, this here's not my fight. I'm just gonna say, now come on, y'all. These are nice folk. They just new in town. They ain't trying to hurt nobody. Look at them.
My tea, jeez.
All right, between a 25 and a 20.
1.
Of course, you got a 21.
My life is on the line. You damn right I'm getting a 21.
You should be taking the alert feat at some point in time in your life.
I know which feat I'm taking it for, I tell you.
Oh my god. Are you sure you want me to take that?
No, you've never seen the alert feat?
The alert feat's great.
The alert feat is fantastic.
I love the alert. Also, hello, Cold Chill. I did not need that today.
Between 20 and 15.
15.
7.
I got a 15 as well.
Okay, I heard a 17 in there.
'Twas I.
Okay.
Because I have spells that are useful for situations like this.
Okay. And then I heard 2 of them. Who's going first on the 15s? Would that be Ezra, or is that going to be Tango?
Isn't that by the dexterity modifier?
Nope. Rules as written, it is decided between the players.
Would you like me to go first, maybe? I'm closer to Zastari.
Yeah, because you're closer. I gotta go. I gotta get over there.
Ezra, then Tanga.
The 2 big boys.
Ladies first.
Mello, what'd you get?
If I'm participating in the fighting, I got a 6. But I am participating in the thieving at the back of the throng.
Yes!
All right. As you see him say, let's, kind of miles, let's get it on. There is a sound of scraping and moving as room is made for all of you. This tap room is quite large. It's probably about 40 feet wide, but it's like 60 feet deep. And you are along the length of it right now. And as you watch, they make you a space that's about 20 by 20, roughly, human shaped square. Ezra, you are coming in from the western edge.
Yep.
You are in the edge of the circle, standing off against the big dude there, Zastari.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of you are on the western edge. It's 15 feet for you to get into the circle. Ezra, it is 10 feet for you to get into the circle.
Yep.
Okay. With that being said, Zastari, you are first.
Okay. So I have gloves on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to grab the hilt of that sword.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to haul it out.
Okay.
I don't know what it does. I don't have any stats for it besides the fact that it's a long sword.
It's a long sword.
We're gonna tub.
Sorry, B, what was that?
Nothing. Go. Ezra just like, why'd you pull out a sword? There's so many people here. We shouldn't be fighting.
And she's going to hold it in low guard in front of her. So the tip is pointed at the floor, but it's very easy to deflect and block with it down that low.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to take one look at the guy in front of her. I'm going to give you a fair warning. Call this off. No one's hurt. No one's harmed. No foul. Forget this happened. Otherwise, you and your friends are going to get very, very hurt.
You're telling me you're going to come into our neighborhood and take our stuff, and you're saying that you're going to... I don't think you understand how this works.
I don't think you seem to understand about the whole, I didn't take your stuff.
Killer!
Tonga's in the back like, I got 20 on the...
I'm a little one.
So are you just standing your ground at this point?
Yes. She is going to... Well, since he seems to be so inclined to fight, then she will attack. Since he's not going to back down. He's not backing down, clearly. Despite the fact that she keeps saying, I didn't steal your stuff, whether or not that's true or not. That's an 18 on the die.
That's going to be a hit.
It is a 1d8. Correct?
That is correct. Mm-hmm. You are not attuned to it, so it does no additional damage.
Gotcha. 1d8. I'm not taking the assassin archetype. So I don't get sneak attack. That is 4 plus 4 is 8.
Is your strength is a +4?
Oh, wait, no, it's a longsword, so it's 5.
Okay. All right. Is that your turn?
I think so. I'm just gonna equip the longsword so it's already just in my information here.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Awesome. As you do that, you watch Ezra and the rest of you watch as 4 guys fall into line behind Zastari. They're all wielding what looks like pickaxes and stuff like that, because that's the only stuff they have. One of them's torn like the leg off of something. He's going to use it to truncheon her with.
They all have the Tavern Brawler feet. Got it.
However, a 5 is a miss. An 18 to hit you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You are going to take 2 points of damage from that one. It's another miss. And that is a 19 to hit.
That'll hit.
That's going to be 4 points of damage.
Okay.
Sorry.
Now, boys. I usually request dinner before you start poking me with things.
There's a little bit of a laughter from the audience.
I don't get it.
There's a chuckle from the audience as you give them a good ribald time. All right. With that being their turn, next up is Saitiel.
How many of the people fighting this Starry can I catch in a 20-foot sphere?
Well, considering that the area that you're in is a 20-foot sphere or circle or area, all of them.
So all of them. Okay.
Sleep.
He is, yes. He's going to cast Sleep because he is just like, the fuck are you all doing? So... Because I have the D6s to roll all at once now. Okay.
You roll D8s, right?
Yeah, that's right. D8s. Thank you.
Do you want to re-roll that?
Yeah, I'd like to, because that was like...
With the correct dice?
Yeah, because that was not...
I heard you say, I've got all the D6s together now. I was like, that's not right at all.
Yeah, I'm just like... I'm excited. I have new dice. I'm sorry. So... Okay. So 28.
Okay.
Which is not bad at all.
Starting with the lowest HP, you're going to put 2 of the guys that just attacked Zastari straight down on the ground. They're both asleep. Okay. You watch as they kind of collide with one another, and then they just kind of slump to the ground. Both of them passed out.
Mm-hmm. He will walk through the crowd to the edge of that. I was like, all right, so what are you all doing right now? Really? I don't want to keep putting people to sleep to make this stop, because I would rather you all not truncheon each other into unconsciousness.
They're accusing me of stealing things, and I didn't do it.
And you?
Who was?
Muted.
Yeah. I listen to both sides.
She was reaching around in my personal stuff, and she got caught. Now all of a sudden she's saying, I didn't take anything from you, which we all know that's true. Look at her. She's just a thieving little elf.
Racist.
Well, I mean,
like I sees them.
Well, I mean, you are a very large man, so most elves are small compared to you. So I can see how you would make that generalization. But,
sorry.
Does this really have to end in bloodshed, though?
No. Told you. All we want's the stuff back. Now she must
how much
have taken.
Did you lose?
Everybody check your pockets. Because we're all trustworthy folk here. Not like a thieving little outsider.
Well, I'm an outsider.
Did you take any of our money?
I mean, I took some of your bread, but I paid for it.
Are you always this obtuse?
Only when I have to be. I prefer not to be, but being obtuse usually gets things done.
Oh! Is that your turn?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, Ezra, it's your turn.
I guess I'll swing to punch the big guy.
Just across the room.
So Starry might be small compared to him, but I'm afraid that I am not.
Probably.
Punch this guy
That's
out.
a nat
Do
20.
it. Yes!
I have a... Never mind. I was about to say, I had a question of me technically distracting him by having him talk to other people potentially gave Ezra advantage on that hit, but
I feel like Ezra just like walked by you and just like ducked the sword dude.
Right in the middle of the conversation.
Yeah, and
excuse me, pardon me. I need to.
And Saitiel's just like, oh boy, I can see how this is gonna go.
Oh, I'm just swinging to try and knock the guy out.
Oh yeah, but you kind of punctuated the end of his. That doesn't have to end in bloodshed! Exclamation point!
At least I'm not using my claws.
Yes, at least you're not doing that.
9.
That's no. Whiff.
Can I try and
He,
grapple
like,
him, or no?
I thought you said you rolled a natural 20.
I did. Doesn't that just double the damage dice?
Yes.
Wait,
Yeah,
did you roll
with. I rolled
Wait.
a nat.
I didn't hear you say you. I thought you rolled
It
a 9.
sounded like
hit.
9.
No, I rolled that's a nat. Sorry, I said it's a 20.
Then yes, it doubles your damage dice. I apologize. I thought you missed altogether.
No, it's still a 9. I only do d4 damage. One of my dice
Okay.
rolled a 1, one of them rolled a 4.
Okay. So 9 points of damage. Yes, you can attempt to grapple him.
Grapple is that plus what?
While this is happening, I'll be right back.
You hit him already, so
Yeah.
it is going to be your strength or athletics if you have it. If you have athletics. Versus mine.
24. My athletics was a +6, and I rolled an 18.
I'm gonna get out of that one. He's grappled successfully. But it's not pleasant. He's like covered in like a thin layer of sweat. He's like damp. So you got him.
Sticky.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like a toddler. Just why are you sticky?
What have you touched?
What have you gotten into? Why are you sticky? So anyways, yes, you
That's okay.
you successfully grappled Biggin.
Please just stop this before anyone else really gets hurt. I realize I punched. It's force of habit. Punch first, ask question later, but she didn't take anything.
Never. All right. Is that your turn?
Yeah.
Awesome. Moving right along.
I'll just hold them. We're friends now. We're having soft tacos later.
You're making more friends?
Tangaroa.
By force.
Yeah.
It won't work. So walk over with the chips because they're so good.
He's like, get the basket of chips and one.
Absolutely. He's like, all right,
Fish and chips.
Okay.
Feed this man. Maybe he's hungry. Maybe he's fine after a snack.
Maybe you give him a Snickers bar. That's all he needs.
Yeah, he's gonna have the chips, and he's like, why are we fighting? Like, why is this happening?
I thought you were pulling a Christopher Walken impersonation from him. Why?
Going to attempt to grapple Zastari.
Excuse me?
Mm-hmm.
Roll to attack.
Plus, what is it? Is it just a hit?
Strength or athletics, right?
No, you got to hit first. No, hold on. You got to hit first. So that's the idea of getting your hands on them.
Okay.
And then you pull
do
them
I
in.
get any bonuses with that, or?
It's basically like an attack roll. So it's going to be your strength plus your proficiency.
Oh. A 17.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay, now your athletics, or if you don't have athletics, it's just your strength versus athletics or strength from Zastari, her choice.
Do I not get acrobatics?
That's what I meant. Acrobatics or dexterity. Gosh damn it. Acrobatics or athletics, strength or dexterity. There, got it out.
You're tired. It's okay.
24.
24?
Rolled an 18, and it's a +6 for my athletics.
Hug party.
Are you grappled?
21.
You feel the very strong, comforting arms of your Triton friend engulf you, going, "Shit's okay, don't fight."
Tangaroa, let me go. we are completely surrounded by people that would like nothing more than to see my blood on the floor. You really need to let me go.
You know, I'm kind of more afraid of you doing more damage to them than I am afraid of them doing damage to you.
I'm gonna bleed all over this floor. Let me
And
go!
I'm gonna be honest, he's gonna
I'm
like
not the other
whisper to her, he's like, I think you kind of deserve
I didn't do anything!
it. Did you? Because I don't believe you. Do I believe her?
I don't.
Inside check. What did you get total?
It was a 9, it was a
10?
1.
I rolled a 21 on deception.
Yeah. You believe what she's saying.
Okay. I fought so hard for this grapple. Wait for her to just fake this boy out.
Please
Can
don't
we
hit the
just
man
not
in
do this? He'll like kind of loosen his
Here's
grip
the
and be
thing.
like,
You have 15 feet to get to where Zastari is.
Hmm.
15 feet to get in the circle, then she was on the other edge, so 10 feet. You've got a few feet of movement. You can continue forward through into the crowd to try to get Zastari and yourself out of the ring if you like.
Oh. What I'm actually gonna do is I'll let go. Convinced me.
Never mind.
Not happy about it, but he will like actually go like in between them, and now focus his attention on one of the other guys and is like,
Okay.
please, can we all just have a good time? He took anything.
We're all having fun.
Okay, I'm sorry.
All right.
It's my
Take your turn.
turn. It's my turn. I guess.
All right. All righty. Now it is the big guy's turn. One of two of them.
What?
On the first attack, that is going to be a 16 to hit you.
Hit who?
You, Zastari.
Well, yeah.
Really? They're aiming for her, even though I'm between them?
You cannot physically get between them. They are base-to-base contact. You couldn't have moved yourself in.
Okay.
You can move beside them.
Between their legs.
What did you roll?
Would I roll an attack roll to hit with the weapon he has?
It was a 16.
That hit?
16 and a
Yes.
24.
Both of them
Action.
will hit me.
I'll use protection
Okay.
to give you disadvantage.
All right, which would mean because he has pack tactics, it would be a normal roll. It's still an 18 on the die.
I tried.
You're going to take 5 and 6 points of damage.
Oh, I'm
11
down.
points. You're at 0.
Yep.
You
At this-
idiot. I'm sorry, but you're dumb.
The other one that comes up beside him points the cudgel that he has in his hand at the rest of you. And I think we're done here, aren't we? Get your friend and get out.
Congo will just kind of like nod, and
Just
he will
pick her up.
he'll pick her up. Yeah.
Out of
Can I
combat.
finish my dinner first?
Can we take a basket of the crackers to go?
Tonga still got his.
Get
I mean, Ezra's just letting go of the person. I was like, can I just crackers to go?
get out. Unless you want to stay and continue this altercation, get out.
Here's the thing, though. I tried to stop it.
Tonga's
I was
leaving.
attempting to stop it too.
And
Are you on her side? I don't care if you were trying to stop it. Get out.
Well, I'm gonna finish my meal unless you want to pay for it.
I'm not going to say it another time.
I'm gonna leave when I'm done. I'm almost finished.
You're done. Get out. And
Yeah, let's
watch
just
as they
go.
kind of start to like push in a little bit more.
Yeah, this place is getting like no stars.
A 1-star review on Yelp.
Just like grumpy.
Are you going to
yeah.
push the matter anymore? Or are you leaving?
Ezra's going out,
Now he'll
taking a basket of crackers with him.
walk over to where his meal was, take the cup,
Mhm.
down it, and then leave.
Okay. Mellow.
I'm uninvolved, but I'll just drink the big guy's beer and leave.
Me?
Drink your... Oh, Tanga's beer?
No.
You're not... Wait. You're drinking the bigger guy that
Mhm.
just got into a fight?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, first of all, give me a sleight of hand check to see if you can grab that beer. And nobody's paying attention to you.
Yeah. Let's see. So that is 15.
As you grab the cup and lift it up, you can see over the edge of the cup, the guy, the very same guy, has his hands on the table, and you can hear it groaning under the push of his weight. And he's staring at you and goes, I believe you've got the wrong cup.
I think you're right. Mine was warmer.
Boil his beer. Your hands on it. Might as
I
well.
believe you should get going too.
All right.
As you all exit the area, is anyone going to do anything to stave off the unconsciousness of your friend?
While I'm holding her, I'm gonna cast
Mhm.
Lay on Hands.
Okay, just. All right. Finding a less than hospitable greeting at the tavern for you. Where are you going now?
Where can we go once news spreads through the town from these people who live here that we've tried to steal and start a fight?
There's another bar.
Is there though?
Yes.
There is another bar.
Oh! By the way, I'm only giving you 1 health point for Lay on Hands because you're done. You only earned 1.
Hey, I'm awake.
Saga is so mad at you.
Mad at me all you want. As far as you know, she didn't do a damn thing wrong. She was walking through the crowd and this guy got uppity because she's not from
started a
here.
fight. Doesn't matter if you did anything wrong. You still started a fight.
I'm not gonna let somebody slander me. Would you let somebody slander you if you just brushed up against somebody and he assumed you were stealing? Don't you have like this righteous, honorable thing?
I think that people who fight over petty things set their own battles.
I mean, really, you can just spit in his beer and be done with it.
Everything needs to be fought over.
In good news,
Doesn't have to be spit.
I didn't finish my fucking chips.
Zastari, roll me a d4.
Alright.
No, I'm sorry. Roll me a d8. Thank you.
That is a 7.
You make off with 7 silver. Because when they told you to get out, no one told you to give back what they had, so you made off with 7 silver.
Not
And you're
worth
still
it.
walking down the street eating the crackers out of the wicker basket?
They're like perched on Zastari. Like
You're carrying her.
I'm like holding her like kind of like the bridal style, and it's just like right on her.
So Sawteal's gonna
Take one, dip it in the sauce.
Did somebody
she's
mention
nice
before that
enough
Mello
to, like,
had?
feed the chips to Tangaroa, or at least attempt to, as he's walking.
What were you asking, Sateo?
Did somebody? I think I might have misheard it, but someone mentioned that like Mello had like combs with pearls in it or something like that.
I mean, they are very pretty.
Would you mind if I took a look at them to see if there's a pearl in there I could use? The fact that sword got pulled out and wielded, I would prefer to know what it does sooner rather than later.
You break it, you buy it. And hands the comb.
I'll look at it. Does it?
It's actually like a comb set, so there's a comb, a brush.
Yeah.
I'm not telling him that.
Oh, I apologize.
Is there a pearl in there?
Give me a percentage roll on it.
Zastari is just feeding chips to Tangaroa since he's got both arms occupied.
Feels a little better.
Where's my? There it is. It's a 47.
Yes, there is one.
There is one. Okay.
Mm-hmm. At the base of the comb, there is one that's kind of set into where the handle is, so like your finger would wrap around it. It's nice size. You have to have it removed in somehow. Does anybody have a jeweler's kit?
I have claws. Does that count?
Please no.
I have thieves' tools
I have an herbalist
that I could probably
kit.
very carefully pry things out with.
Just bend the brush, give it back to Mello.
The brush becomes the focus through which the identify spell is cast. Why does your wizard always cast identify using that brush? Don't ask.
Yeah. I mean, it can work. He'll look at it and just. Well, I mean, this pearl actually would work. So either I can remove it and give the comb back, or you let me use this whenever I need to identify something. Let me put it to you this
Fine,
way.
I'll let you use it whenever you need.
This has been the most difficult decision of the campaign so far.
I was
not even killing the kid. That was an
I was
easy.
gonna say, it didn't take this long to decide whether we were going to kill a fucking child.
To be fair, only one of us made that decision.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Where's the sword right now?
In Zastari's hand.
Okay, Satya will walk over, holding the comb. Is like, I need to see the sword, please.
Okay.
Are you casting this as a ritual, or are you using a spell slot?
He will take it and the wrapping if it's given to him, and he will just put it on his back for right now and wait until they find a spot, and then he will ritual cast identify on it.
Okay. There is another place in this town that you might be able to find respite for the evening.
Sastari sits in the corner of the booth, and the rest of us block her path.
Better yet,
you gotta go to the washroom. You're stuck.
Child, like one of those child leashes that you can put on.
She gets the child.
Someone put a frickin' bell on her.
So I guess that means we're going to the boarding house then.
I had one of those child leashes, and then I learned how to get out of it. So
Why am I not surprised that you had one?
that was a little shit. I ran away all the time when I was a kid.
Grief.
You didn't have a runaway bag so much as a bug out bag. You just it's like had $1,000 worth of cash, a change of clothes, and your favorite toys in it. At any time, I'm just leaving you all.
Oh yeah, I darted down the street in a blizzard when I was 2. Like in a whiteout blizzard. Like I just ran.
Wow.
I gotta go.
Probably laughed
I
at her
gotta
too.
go.
I mean, I walked out of a store with a pair of complete strangers because I was busy talking to them. Did not realize that my parents were not with me. and would have probably gone with them because I was just being very friendly and talking.
That's how you get kidnapped, kids.
That
Yeah,
is
basically.
exactly how you
Boarding
get
house, then?
kidnapped. And I never got kidnapped. I'm
Lived.
Oh my.
still here.
Okay, so we're
Not
going to the
called
boarding
Natty
house.
Alert.
The
Yes.
boarding house.
Boarding
Yeah.
house.
The boarding house is a very beautiful home. It's 2 stories. It looks
Mhm.
kind of like it's got a wraparound porch on the front of it, and you can see that for us it would be a Victorian style, like lapboard home with nice tall steep roofs on parts of it. It's painted kind of a periwinkle blue with like lilac accents here and there. And it's very, very, very homey looking. You can see that there is a very well manicured lawn set with gravel that walks up to the steps. And it's in contrast to most of this area, which is kind of perpetually covered in some sort of a coal dust or something like that.
And Satiel will walk in. It's like, hello.
Just walk in.
Well, if there's somebody, but
Sorry.
if the door's just like open for people to go in, then he will.
The door is not open, but you can see there's a rather large knocker on the front of it, so you can just rap on it real quickly.
Yeah, he'll do that.
Okay.
He probably moved ahead of the group to get here.
Okay. As you open the door, there is a Zoftig middle-aged woman.
Mm-hmm.
New word for the day, kids. She's very curvaceous, large, ample, and but very, very, very gregarious. You can see that she looks like one of those people that's just constantly smiling. And of course, as you open the door, well, hi, how can I help you?
Hi, I was hoping I might have a room for the night. My friends are further back, but I figured I might go ahead and hurry up and ask.
Well, sure. How many rooms y'all need?
1 or 2, I'd imagine. Probably
All right.
2.
Staying for the evening, for the week, just for a couple days.
How about for right now for the evening, and then we can let you know later when we finalize our plans.
Why, certainly, that'd be fine. Now, y'all here just in time for supper. So get your
thank
friends,
you.
come on in, and we'll sit down and have a bite to eat, all right?
Okay. And then he'll turn around. He'll see how far back they are.
Oh, they're probably only a few feet, just a couple of 10 feet behind you or so.
He'll just
She starts waving at you. You can all see her waving, and she's wearing this kind of a light green, like peasant top that's tucked into this dress. The dress is made out of some sort of linen or gauzy, like thicker gauze material, and she's wearing very plain shoes. Her hair is pulled behind her and up in a bun. You can see that it was probably like a platinum blonde, and now it's shot through here and there with gray. And like I said, she just very big smile on her face as she introduces her, or as she lets you gain entry into her home. She introduces herself as Matilda, Mathilda, Matilda. Sorry, guys. And she informs you that her husband Roland is probably back somewhere in the back of the house, preparing the table. To which she then shouts out, "Roland, we've got a few more for dinner. 5, it looks like." And then she guides you through a short hallway into a very long room. A high ceiling vaulted in here allows ample room, at least vertically, for this rather large table, which would sit 15 people. At the table, along with Matilda and Roland, you see 3 other individuals. You see a human who is kind of gaunt. His skin is a little on the sallowy side. You can see that his hair is pressed down like he had a hat on and had taken it off. He is not wearing a jacket, but he has a vest with a white button-down shirt underneath it, and black pants. And he has sure enough, the jacket is hung over the back of the chair, but the hat is nowhere to be seen. One of the other people At first, you mistake for a child. Then you realize it is a halfling. She is not wearing like a dress. She's wearing like adventuring garb, more or less. Like a leather jerkin with a rough shirt underneath. And you can see a pack that is sitting next to her on the floor. The third person is a almost didn't notice the third person that's sitting there. As you realize that as small as the halfling was, the third person is even smaller. It is a gnome. He is bald on top. His beard is black, shot through with lots of gray. And it is currently bundled up and pushed over his shoulder so that it stays out of the way and doesn't get in his food. He has a very nice white, like gauze or linen shirt on that seems to have the sleeves rolled up, and you can see a band that is keeping it in place. And given his mannerism and dress, you can see that he's probably from a very well-to-do station in life. He probably has money, but he doesn't seem to be boastful about it. Mm-hmm. As you enter, the halfling kind of nods at you all, recognizing you. The thin human kind of looks at you all, steeples his fingers, and then just gives a little bow of his head. The gnome looks up and says, "Oh, hello!
Hi.
Where's the mayor? You're at the table. Come on, sit down."
Sure. Quick question, just because I know Grumpy Cleric will bonk me over the head if I don't. Does the halfling have super, super long fuzzy hair and is going on about archaeological significance?
No.
Darn.
She's kind of quiet.
Yeah, there it is. But it's one of her favorite characters is a halfling knowledge cleric she played that was exactly like that.
Sorry.
So I had to ask.
She has auburn hair that you can see is bound with like copper bands in certain places. Like she'd bundle it and push the copper band up, bundle it, push the copper band up. It is thick, but it's just all bound up behind her. Okay. Given the look of her fingers and things like that, you can tell that she is used to working hard work. So she's got, she has calluses on certain parts of her hand and stuff like that.
Yeah.
About that time, another human enters the room. As Matilda sits down at one end of the table, the man that comes out is carrying a large tureen with a ladle set into it. And he sets it down in the middle of the table, and she gets up and goes back into the kitchen where he came from and brings out a platter, and on it are sliced pieces of what appear to be like a ham of some sort, and sets it down. And then he comes out carrying like several small like hens, Cornish hens, on a little tray. Several other dishes are served out. At that point in time, they both look around the table and they sit, and he says, "Well, if any of you have any sort of rituals that you do before you eat, please feel free. Our home is open to all of them that come and go, and whoever you serve. We'll just observe a moment of silence for you, if you don't mind." And then he just waits for a moment to see if anybody's going to bow their head or do anything that they need to.
So Satya will bow his head for a moment, do his usual, just like quick, just thank you for the food thing he did back in the cloister.
Sure.
You would not want to see what we do before we eat, where I come from.
Sounds interesting.
Maybe another time.
Well, if no one else in, feel free to serve yourselves. And with that, the table falls quiet other than the sound of clinking platters and serving dishes being handed around from one table to the next, or one person to the next. And it's a healthy meal. It's a good meal. Fresh vegetables that have been sauteed with potatoes. You said, there's not enough hens to go around for everyone, and he apologizes profusely for that. But she goes about like breaking one in half and giving half to Roland and half to herself. And like I said, the meal is good. The soup is just a very plain bisque. It's not actually like I'm not gonna die, but it might get real close. Sorry, guys. It's a nice bisque. It's not super hearty, but it actually really goes well with the meal and complements it quite well.
If we, if I might stop you there, when like he notices the soup and like people start serving, it's like, I'm sorry, but do you mind if I do something as thanks for offering this meal to us?
They kind of give you a curious look, but they don't stop you. Feel free.
Is there any particular flavor you all would enjoy for this bisque? Might make the meal even more spectacular than what you've made for us.
Well, I mean, it's a tomato bisque right now, and
But
that's usually what I make.
and any flavor.
I can't think of anything that I would like. Any of the rest of you?
And Satya will wait. And
Lobster.
Satya will wait, and he's specifically looking at the hosts first.
No, Matilda and Roland have they're curious as to what you're going to do, but neither one of them make a move to provide you with an alternative choice for flavoring the bisque.
He'll look to everybody else. The other three, the party.
The sallowed individual looks as though he has a very food plate as it is.
Mm-hmm.
The halfling has a nice serving, but you notice has avoided the bisque. The gnome has a lot of food and like a couple of bowls. Like you're not sure where that bowl came from. Oh wait, he took it from the halfling.
Okay.
And he has both of them full. He's currently looking up, thinking that the ritual for thanks of food is done. He's already tucked in. He looks at you, and you can see a little bit of food is already spilled into his beard. What's in them?
Well, it's a particular ability. One of the things that I learned how to do is I can alter the flavor of food as I wish. And as thanks for offering this bounty, if there's any particular flavor that would be people would like, I can do that for them.
He takes his cup, which you can see has a clear liquid in it. He hands it to you. Can you make that taste like lemon?
Like what?
Lemon.
Lemon?
A lemon, yep.
Certainly. He'll take the cup and he'll just sort of wrap his finger against it twice, and then he'll hand it back. And that glass of water tastes like lemon because prestidigitation.
He just kind of whistles. Oh, great day in the sun. Look at that, will you? It tastes like lemon. And with that, he downs the first cup like nothing.
Okay, well, if
you've become a personal like soda stream for him. Every time he gets a drink, he's like handing it to you.
Nah, he'll do it. But if nobody else wants to change like the bisque or anything, but he'll basically just use prestidigitation to enhance the flavor, basically. And not change the flavor, but sort of enhance it a little bit. And then there's that.
Sure. You're right, Grumpy Cleric. I didn't realize that it is a Matryoshka of character race sizes. Anyways, the meal is pleasant. It's very filling. It's very, even if it's not the food that you're used to eating, it's still very nostalgic. It still has that good homey feeling about it. Everyone full. You watch as they start to clean up. Are you guys... you watch as plates are gathered and things like that, and it just seems to be Matilda and Roland that are gathering up. You watch, though, as the gnome pushes away from the table, jumps down, and the halfling does the same thing, and they start to gather their plates and bowls and put them together and start to take them all into the kitchen and things like that.
Satya will help.
All right. With the aid of anybody who'd like to, the table is soon cleared and made way. And as you guys sit back down, you see that he brings out a small pot. It's made with glass, and you can see that in the bottom of it, it's pressed this thick, black-looking mush. In the top of it is a liquid that is a dark brown in color. She comes out with a small tray of cakes and she sets them down. They bring out serving cups for everyone and start to pour a little bit into each cup, unless anybody would not like to partake of coffee for the evening.
Always.
Never tried coffee before.
Satiel will not.
Ezra,
Okay.
no.
When you say that, Tangaroa, the gnome goes, "Oh, you're gonna love it! It's fantastic." No,
Sounds
don't drink
great.
too
What
much
is
of
it?
Oh, it's made from a bean. Strained water through the bean. You crush them down. That's what's in the bottom of that. And then you serve water over them. Hot steeping water, like tea, but not like tea because you don't drink it. Anyways, you should try it, but don't drink too much of it. 1 cup probably be enough for you.
Okay. And does it have anything in it, like cream, sugar, or is it just?
They have
bean
cream and
juice?
sugar if you'd like to, but otherwise it's just black coffee.
Well, then he would have no idea what the fuck to do. So,
As you enjoy it, it is black. It's a little bitter, but not too bad. It's flavorful, and all of a sudden your eyes with that caffeine shot kind of go wide for a second. And you're like, ooh, this is a new feeling. She slides a tart in front of you, or a tort in front of each of you, and you can see that it is a fresh berry tort. Each one of them has berries on it. She then walks around and gives you each a dollop of cream on top of it and tells you to enjoy as they themselves enjoy 1 cup of coffee, 1 small one, and their tort. There's some small talk. You find out that the sallowed-looking human is indeed a grave domain, and that he is heading to Prestigio. The gnome who is also heading to Prestigio, is a tinkerer by trade, and he makes small mechanical clockwork figurines and things like that for people's homes. The halfling who is heading north out of here just basically gives you some very short answers about who she is and where she's going. She says she's heading north. She's hoping that the caldera has calmed down enough. They saw the cloud and the danger in the sky. But she's hoping that it's calmed down enough over the last few days that she can actually make her way further north. She said that she is heading to the Acumen Moors. That's Occuman, Acumen Moors. And she tells you that it is a place that is steeped in history, that there are all sorts of ancient ruins and a lot of history there. She says the worst part of her trip, though, that she's concerned with is heading...
Satiel perks up. Second history gets mentioned.
She said that her concern is not the Octomers, but heading through the Hannock Wastes, because the Hannock Wastes are tough, and she is hoping to book a charter out of Port Awapal, which you're familiar with that, Tanga and Mello. Hoping to charter a ship out of Port Awapal so that she can go around the Hannock Waste and then head north toward the Acumen Moors.
Could you respell the Acumen Moors, please?
Occuman. Acumen. And Hannock is Hannuck. Hannock
Yeah,
Wastes.
I've got that one.
Awesome.
I just needed the Acumen Moors. Okay. Full of ruins and history. All caps. Must go.
Must go. All right. Eventually, small talk is had, and it is well into the dark. And the lamps are turned low, and you are all escorted to your rooms. And you said 2 rooms?
Mm-hmm.
That is what you are presented with. 2 rooms.
Okay. I will say that, once the halfling mentions, ruins, history, and all of that, she immediately had Satiel's attention, and he probably started debating back and forth with her on history and all that stuff, since he's very proficient in it, given his background and his heritage. And
give me a persuasion check with advantage, given your background, history, and knowledge and stuff like that.
Sure. Persuasion with advantage. Okay. It's a dirty 20. Yeah, dirty 20.
As you start to go down the line of questioning with which she is familiar, she actually opens up to you, and you learn that her name is Hannah. Her name is Hannah Marsfoot, Marsfoot, Hannah Marsfoot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not Hannah, it's just Hanna. No H on the end of it. Hannah Marsfoot.
Mm-hmm.
That she is kind of like a conversation between the two of you.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I'm concerned about, that there's something different about this place. I can't quite put my finger on it, but things were different a few days ago.
This place. Oh, you mean the world in general?
The world in general.
Oh,
I'm hoping to find more information about that.
well, I have my own theory. If you would like to hear it.
Well, I'm going to let this coffee sit for a bit, so sure.
Of course. My own theory is that the world that we knew, the one that we used to know, was a very complex and intricate illusion that foiled our senses into believing we were all as what we thought we were, and hid our perception of the world as it was, or as it currently is now.
Well, okay, not to call that hogwash, but if the veil was to drop, and that's all that happened, you think we'd have memory of something like that?
Well,
but this feels normal. But
it
at the same
does.
time, it doesn't feel normal.
Because reality got shifted.
I need you to give me a sanity check, please.
Me? Okay.
Yes,
What do I
you.
roll for that?
Roll a d20 and add your proficiency bonus, or not your proficiency bonus, your modifier.
Question.
So 18 is a +4.
Since my character was the only one that got that direct link with the Illithids, and they actually discussed this already without me doing a sanity check, do I still need to make it for that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 23.
Okay. This, as you're making this explanation, this uncomfortable feeling creeps up your spine into the base of your brain and tries to slither across the surface of your mind. However, you kind of like shudder and keep it in check, and it passes.
Okay.
Anyways, that's a good theory. Perhaps it'll pan out. But for now, she gives a big stretch and a yawn. It's been a nice time talking to you, Sattail. Hopefully we'll meet again. And she pats you on the shoulder and she
Hopefully
makes her
so.
way.
You've definitely given me a place where I would like to go and take a look, for sure.
Oh, maybe our paths will cross there again.
Maybe it will.
Good night, sir.
And good night to you as well.
As you all pile into your beds, who is staying? You have 2 rooms. Who's staying where? It's like all the dudes in one bedroom, and then the Starry has this one room by herself.
Well, first thing, Satiel's going to gather everybody into one room.
It's all your homies. Good night. Come on.
He'll pull everybody in at once.
Bring it in. Bring it in, everybody.
Like, okay.
I'm a hugger. Sorry. Come on.
He'll give Ezra a hug. So 2 things. One, I will use my magic on this sword so we can determine who would best use it. Secondly,
she's like, I know who's gonna best use it. Me.
I have concerns. The second I started trying to talk about how the world used to be, something tried to infiltrate my mind.
Do you need another beer or something?
I don't drink.
Yeah, he needs another beer.
I need that first beer.
Mhm.
I'm concerned that those people who used to watch the world, they're not done watching.
That just feels weird to say. And here, actually,
I would have completely discounted it had that feeling not come over me like it did downstairs just an hour ago. Just for now, I have voiced to you all what happened when we were there, and it was confirmed. But for now, for our own, I suppose, sanity, really, let's avoid mentioning it to others for the moment until we figure out more. I would, like I said, I just have my concerns considering what happened or what tried to happen to me.
well, keeping it quiet is an easy thing. Unless somebody
it'll
doesn't
be
drink too much.
it'll be hard for me because you know how easy it is for me to just start blabbing about history and various things that catch my attention.
But this is more like a now story.
Yeah.
We'll just pick you up from the conversation and walk away with you? Is that how we can stop that?
I'm
Be
fairly
rude.
light. Honestly, it'd be very easy for you to do. I mean, if it would work, then go right on ahead. I'll give you full permission to.
Just Ezra walks up. Excuse me for my knocks him out, takes him, picks him, and walks away with him.
No, just pick him
I'll
up
be
like one
needing
arm
this.
under, like across his chest.
It just
drag
picks
him
him up
backwards.
like, excuse me, I need my wizard.
Excuse me, I need to borrow him for a moment.
Just picks him up underneath his arm, so he's just like.
He is not a heavy man at all.
Ezra is a heavy man.
When you
Hopefully
pick
you'll
up a
never have to
cat,
carry
you're
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
If you
but
wanna carry him.
we've not known each other for no more than maybe a few months at the most, but honestly, if we're going to keep traveling together as we are, I would prefer to keep all of you safe. So, this is just
Caution.
sword. he just like stops, just goes sword. Just goes to the sword, and he will set it down on the floor, pull out the comb, open up one of his books, and he will keep the comb over the sword and then let go as the comb just sort of floats there. And he will put both his hands sort of to the sides of the book as ink will start to bleed out of it and create this sigil around the sword that starts linking up in various webs to the pearl in the comb as the light starts to sort of go from the top and starts slowly scanning across it to the bottom.
Okay.
And that is him casting Identify.
As you do, the sword kind of glows. Your eyes focus in on it and glowing slightly at the edges of your eyes. And you can see what the item is. It identifies itself as a frost brand.
Frost brand. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. What does this frost brand do?
You know that the blade is coated with a rime that leaves extra frost damage whenever it slices across any sort of foe that would be hit with it. It protects the wielder from fire. And in the absolute where the temperatures have fallen their farthest that you can think they can, the blade sheds a bright light in a 10-foot radius.
Okay.
Given the chill and since it absorbs heat all around it, when wielded or when drawn for the first time, every so often, it can actually extinguish all of the non-magical flames around it within a certain.
Okay. He will, once the spell is done and the webs fold back into the sigil, the sigil folds back into the book, and then he'll catch the comb, hand the comb back to Mello.
Immediately goes for the hair.
It's fine. Okay. So, this is a very interesting weapon. This is a sword known as Frostbrand. When drawn, it has a chance to immediately extinguish all nearby non-magical fire. When exposed to extreme cold, it starts shining like a torch. It, due to the nature of the arcane cold enchantments and the rhyme woven into the metals of the blade, it protects its wielder from fire. And it, because of that same rhyme, when it hits something, it also could potentially cause frostbite locally. It's a very powerful weapon.
Could I like burn your pants while you're wearing it right, or while you're holding it right now?
Well, I have not linked my arcane essence to the weapon, so you could. I would prefer you don't.
I mean, there's a time and a place. The time is when I want it.
Please don't light anything on my person on fire.
It doesn't have to be you.
So all of that aside, can I have that back?
There it is.
So he was like in the. He just didn't. Yes, sorry.
Can I have my sword back, please?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks.
Because for all he knows, it is her sword.
And then in exchange, she's just going to pull out the notebook that she had taken from the keep and hand it to him.
Notes. He's gonna start flipping through it.
Okay. All right. As you all settle for the night, who's staying in what room? Now that you've exchanged.
All of you out of my room.
Like,
Are you paying for it?
We have to pay for these?
Oh my god.
what's the layout of the room look like?
How
Like, how
about
many
we
beds
split
are there?
it 2 to
Like,
3?
What's going
This
on?
is this room has two rather large beds in it. It's a large room. It has a single wardrobe and a single like vanity in there. The other room also has 2 beds in it. You can see that they are smaller, but still in like full size beds versus the queen size in the other room.
So I think those two, and she points at Ezra and Tangaroa, should have this room, considering the fact that I have a feeling they're not going to fit on the other beds very comfortably.
We could try. It's not an
I'm
issue.
sure you could. But, I mean, make it easy for yourself. Enjoy a nice night in the comfort of a bed.
I'm afraid
Okay.
to do the sheets, actually.
Good night.
Ezra's like stripping the sheets off of
See?
the beds. Afraid to
Figaro
rip
is like
them.
shoving everybody out of the room. Go now.
Bye.
So the
And
rest
then-
of you are in the other room.
That puts the 3 of
I
us
guess
in the
so,
other
yeah.
room.
Figure
So
stare at
you
the big
boys
one long enough
sleeping-
will give me nightmares
Sleeping head
anyway.
foot. You boys sleeping head to foot. Are you gonna spoon? Because I know Zastari's getting her own bed.
I mean, she has no problem sharing a bed with anybody. Whether or not they trust her to share the bed with her, like with them.
I feel like she's a violent mover in the middle of the night. Like you're gonna get kicked.
Nope. Nope. She gets into position and doesn't move.
So she just planks while she sleeps.
Basically, just
honestly,
lays-
Satiel would probably use his bedroll unless somebody invited him. Just sleep on the floor.
And Mel would absolutely watch as he rolled it out.
It's fine. He has slept in much worse. So, I really like that.
So Starry is just
He
gonna
even,
sit
like-
on the end of the bed and just kind of like watch Satiel do this and just, you know that there's enough room on this double bed for both of us, right?
Yes.
And you know that I'm okay with you sharing my bed?
This is the first time this has come up.
Did you miss every single night when we were traveling that I slept next to you?
I had my own tent.
And on bedroll.
Satiel, get in the bed.
Okay. He'll just roll his bedroll back up.
And as everybody goes to sleep for the evening, we are going to take a quick break. Give us about 10 minutes so we can go refill drinks, go potty, and everything else like that. I take this time to do that. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be back in, like I said, 10 minutes. And
catch
we
you
will
after the
wrap
break,
up.
because there's
We'll
something I
wrap
wanted
up
to
after
do.
there. Excuse me. Remember, it is September. If you are a Twitch Prime user, please feel free. We would appreciate your sub. It will only help us to upgrade our equipment, pay for the subs that we have for or our licensing fees and things like that. So we really appreciate it. We love you guys and thank you. Even if you can't donate, just keep watching and spread the word, spread the love. Anyways, we'll be back in 10 minutes. See you all then for the last hour of the Escorts. Thanks, guys. Be right back.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their nails done now. girls with their nails done.
started to fall, and where were you? How could I know you were falling too? Grabbing the wind, cutting my skin, but it's hard because I'm falling. Tell me why I'm falling. Oh, life's calling, but it's hard because I'm falling, 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 falling,
Sort of.
And welcome back. All right, everyone. Thank you for holding on with us while we got drinks, and some of us got food, and I scarfed down a piece of pizza really quickly, and got some
me
water,
too.
and drank a strawberry daiquiri wine cooler.
Because
Yeah.
sure, why not?
I prioritized, ate, drank, got drink. The night passes. You said something you wanted to do after the break?
Yeah.
Casting alarm?
No, he is going to sort of it's something that like I do personally, but he'll just mentally say, I need to be up by this time.
And set his internal clock?
Yeah, he's going to get up probably around midnight. And he will just sort of roll over, sit up in the bed and sort of like, is there a window in here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he'll just sort of sit up in the bed, just sort of look out the window. And he will try to reach out to that first voice he heard when the world reset itself. The one that asked him if he could hear her. And she said, finally.
Well... Okay. Are you just saying hello?
It's like, this might be very disrespectful considering what I think happened. I've been ignoring you for decades, but can you hear me?
Finally. At last. I can. Can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
It was like there was a large wall between us.
Yes, and I know the reason why, but I would prefer not to discuss it anymore because last time I tried, something tried to interfere with my mind.
I saw you once when you were very young. I'm the one that put the marks on you. I tried to talk to you again. It wasn't the same. I could help you make decisions, little steps along the way, but I couldn't talk to you like I am now. I was afraid.
Well, we have each other now, though I am probably much older than when you probably wanted to start talking to me, aren't I?
That's okay. I see at least a while before we have to part ways again.
There's some part of me that knows who you are. I know what you are, but at the same time, It's like my mind has no idea, but my heart, my soul, almost knows you intrinsically.
Mm-hmm. That is the way it was supposed to be from the beginning.
Do you mind telling me about yourself?
Hmm. You will learn as you go.
Well, can I at least ask what you are?
Hmm. There are many names that we have. I don't know that any of them are actually correct. More of a guiding hand.
People like me?
No. But you can call me Milandra.
Ironically, that's exactly what I named my celestial owl to. No joke. Well, Melandra, it is nice to finally be able to talk to you.
It's nice to talk to you as well.
I
My
have
Satael.
I have a feeling that I'll be likely talking to you more once I get more used to this. I'm not used to sharing my mind with someone else.
I'm not. I don't intrude. But if you need guidance, I will be here.
Just whistle.
No, he just sighs. It's like, well, I tried to sigh, but then just it came out between my teeth, so whistle happened. It's like everything just suddenly changed. I know it's always been this way, but changed. Everything's different, and I'm left with this feeling of I know what I should do, but at the same time, I'm left less. I don't know where I should go.
You would think the hardest part was done. Choosing to change the world. But it's not. The hardest part is seeing the world set right. Satael, you are strong. You recognize the weave. The magic that binds the world together. Do you think that it is whole? That it is untattered? That the weave is strong? Close your eyes and reach out with your mind.
He will.
As you close your eyes and you tap into that side of you that sees the magical weave, allows you to draw upon threads and create a new thing out of these magical threads.
Mm-hmm.
You realize that it's looking at an old tapestry that's been moth-eaten and tattered and shredded in places. You see that magic, while is strong, is chaotic. That it is a tattered thing. That it is there for the most part, but that arcane weave is not whole.
Mm-hmm. It's fractured.
Of course. When you take and shift quickly, we have a chance of ruining it.
Is that what we did?
I don't know.
Well, then I guess it's my job to find out, isn't it?
I'm proud of you already.
Well, all my life I've always been driven to help others. Not for recognition or because some rule or law tells me to. It's because there's just something in me that says I need to. And if we are the ones that fractured the weave like this, isn't it right that I do what I can to put it back together?
Don't look for blame in yourself for things that were done by you. It is not always your mantle to bear, but it may be yours to share. Think on that and rest. Busy few days.
I will. Good night, Meleandra.
Good night, Sateo.
And he'll just, once he drops that connection again, he'll just sort of look up at the stars for a moment and just, well, this will be an interesting life. And he'll just go back to bed and fall back asleep.
All right.
What kind of coffee did Tonga have?
Oh, that's a terrible question.
How long is this boy sitting in bed? Just like, my heart's gonna explode.
It's not all that jacked up.
Okay, cool. Only a moment.
All right. You all rest for the evening. When you wake the next morning, the light is already shining through your windows. It's probably far later than what you meant to sleep, but for the first time, you feel actually rested. So sorry, guys. I'm hoping this is gone soon.
You're good.
As you make your way downstairs, you can see that breakfast is still sitting out on the table and plates have been set out for you, but you can see that breakfast has been covered with like cloth to keep it, and towels to keep it covered. It's not cold, but it's definitely not hot. Matilda, as you come downstairs, Matilda greets all of you. Sorry, loves. We've already eaten breakfast, and we felt like not waking y'all. Y'all seem so tired. But breakfast is here for you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it nonetheless.
And I realize it's something that I forgot to ask last night, but because we were so tired. But is there a cost for staying here for the night?
Yes, there is. Unfortunately, we can't put you up for free.
That's understandable.
Hang on just 1 second here.
Grumpy, no.
No, it's hang on just 1 second here. Bear with me 1 second here. Okay. Sorry, I was looking for something in particular. I'm not finding it. Bear with me one moment. There we are. That's fine. She tells you that the cost is 2 gold pieces per person.
And this is per night, I assume?
That is correct. It comes with your meal for the evening and your meal in the morning. You have to fend for yourself during the daytime.
Of course.
Yeah.
For as well as you treated us, I think that's worth.
Yeah, definitely.
She just beams at you as you say such nice things to her.
We didn't really get much chance to discuss where we wanted to go. So, if you wouldn't mind, we could do that after we eat, and then we can let you know if we were going to stay any longer.
Sure, feel free. I don't have anybody planned in to take the rooms that you were all staying in tonight. I know that Hannah, the young girl, she meant to move off today. The other two, I think they're going to move off tomorrow.
Okay.
They're looking for, I don't know, to catch a wagon. They're talking about splitting the cost for a sword arm or two to help kind of make sure they stay safe on the road to Prestigio.
Understandable. Well, if you don't mind, I think I'm going to take in. If this breakfast is as good as last night's dinner was, it'll be something else.
I'm sorry, it might be a little on the cold side, but it's edible.
Well, that's fun thing about the many magical tricks I've learned in my years. I can heat it up just fine.
Oh, that's a treat, I'm sure.
It's
underneath the
helpful.
cloth, underneath the cloth, are traditional biscuits, as we call them here in the South. So they are fluffy.
Yes.
There is
The best biscuits.
A bowl of what you're not quite sure of. It has kind of a yellowy white look to it. And you can see that it has may have had butter added to it and swirled around, but there was a couple of good spoonfuls taken out of it. She does say that she can make you some fresh eggs if you would like. And there is some gravy on there, as well as several jams of different kind, including a strawberry fig preserve. There's a blackberry jam and an apple jelly.
Hazard's already eating. He doesn't care if it's cold or not.
He's just tearing big.
Well, Satya will sort of like pat Ezreal on the shoulder for a second. It's like, let me help. And he'll tap the plate that Ezra is eating from, and he'll heat the food back up again to warm.
Aw.
Why, thanks.
He'll do that for everybody's before settling into his own.
All right. The bowl is the bowl of not quite sure stuff ends up being some sort of granule that has been warmed with water, and they've added sugar and butter to it. Not sugar. Jesus Christ. Salt and butter. My brain just went, no. Salt and butter. Yes, it is grits, grumpy cleric, and sugar. Okay. God.
Yeah. Caramel grits. Yeah.
Satya is totally getting some biscuits and gravy.
All right. So,
because being the player would devour that shit. You kidding me?
it was definitely grits. I was gonna say maybe farina, but if I'd have said farina, I don't think anybody would have known what I was talking about. But grits, everybody kind of knows here. Anyways, breakfast is good, even though it is a little on the cool side. But After breakfast, you can see that Roland is working in the garden. They have a large garden to kind of like keep themselves and whoever is there kind of fed for the day. You see several chickens that they have, and they're kept in a small pen area. And you watch as soon as you guys finish up, she finishes cleaning the table, and she's out there, like helping out and tending to the garden and things like that. What are you guys going to do from here?
Well, we can discuss that. And Satya will sort of pause as he's eating, look up at everyone's like, well, do we have any destination we'd like to go? We could help any of these three that we met. I know two of them are going back to Prestigio.
Well, you seem awfully excited to help that halfling.
Well, of course, it's ancient history. Ruins, history, things I can learn and write about and experience. But
Nothing
this
gets
group
hurt.
is more than just me.
I'd be interested in some ancient runes. Lord knows
Runes
what we're
where?
gonna find.
Did you tell us where she was going?
Yes, actually. It is in a place called the Acumen Moors. Going through the wastes, if we want to take the land route. But
And if we don't...
well, she did mention she wanted to go to a nearby port town and secure passage there around the wastes instead. But that might be a little bit more expensive than what we have on us right now, I'd imagine.
Ezra, through a mouthful of food, is just, my mom's a captain of a ship.
Is she?
Yes.
But where
I
is
don't-
she? Where is
That's
she?
the
at?
thing. That's the thing. I know a lot of men and women who work on ships. I might be able to find us passage if I
I have a
don't know
boat.
where she is.
You are a boat.
Satya like pauses mid sentence and just goes. But he's not made of wood.
Mm.
Yeah, I have a boat. Me.
Okay. But there's those two options, or we could always go find something. I know for me personally, I like to see the blacksmith of the town before we get run out. I want to see if I can find some armor and a better weapon than what I have right now.
Oh, I'll hide here.
Knowing you, I could probably start walking and find you hiding in my shadow at some point.
I'd like to try that.
I would step on you.
But you wouldn't step on me?
He's taller than you are.
Unless you
My boots.
I have to do this. I'm sorry, I established it like
All of us can equally pat you on the head. Even
Yeah.
with, well, okay, I can do it with your shoes on.
Yeah.
I think the only one who can't might be Mello.
I can give you a sunburn.
How tall is Mello?
I don't even remember. Hang on.
Is he Steve size?
I was about to, for some reason I thought like
A
he was,
little,
like 6
little
foot
less
something.
than me. Oh, yes, that's right. 5'11.5", although he says 6.
Yes,
Okay.
that's right. That's right.
I about to say I could have sworn I remembered 6 foot being in there somewhere
Mhm.
when you
So
introduced.
Steve size?
Pretty much.
I think the only ones that are like 5 something are both Zastari and Setail.
Let's say is Satiel the shortest one here?
No, it's
With or
Zastari.
without Zastari's boots?
With.
No, I think you
No.
guys are the same height.
We're the same height. With the boots
Oh, are
on.
we? Okay.
You're
Alright.
5'10", right?
Yeah.
She'd wear her boots.
Yeah, as long as absolutely not. As long as she's wearing her boots, she's 5'10".
Okay.
I can't wait to see her with their boots off. Just
Maybe.
Ezra in general being 6'8". That's all.
That's great.
Also, during the 4 hours in which I did
Thank
not
you, Grumpy.
need to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
I would have been attuning to the sword.
You are attuned to the sword.
Yeah.
That's a good question, actually, since you did the 4 hours thing. Was she technically awake when Satiel was talking to Eliandra?
She
You
can let
have
me know.
no idea.
Fair enough. I didn't check. That's right. I have no idea. So sure. So
No
yes,
idea.
before we leave, I would like to see about trying to find some at least some leather armor and scimitar. If at all
Is there a
possible.
leathersmith here?
You can try to find one.
No, I'm not looking for one. I don't care. I already got so
Ask the
lost
question. Doesn't care about the. Sorry.
lost trying to find the blacksmith. I'm not. No, I'm not putting myself out there like that again. I want to hear another song from Mello.
Ezra's curious to go shopping, so he'd go around as well. Not for anything specific.
I just still have the idea of Mello being Andy Samberg and just doing the strumming the guitar and just going. "Ah!"
I think
Yeah, he is going to go out into the town square or whatever the equivalent is and try and make some money.
Thinking,
Give me a
On it.
performance check.
do I have a higher performance check than you do?
Probably.
Because being a blade song wizard, I became proficient in performance.
Let's see. The thing is, Bard, jack of all trades.
Yes,
So 16.
Okay.
that is true. You're level 2 now. That's right.
Yeah, you make some coin. It's not too bad.
All
You're
right.
able to turn over some coin. Give me a D4.
All right. 4.
Excellent. And go ahead and give me a D6.
4.
4 silver, 4 copper.
All right.
All right.
I'm very
Yes.
excitedly sitting cross-legged, like.
These two idiots. These two idiots. I love them. All right. Yes, finding a scimitar is. Dude. The blacksmith, the dwarven family that runs the smithy, ask you, are you sure that's what you want there?
Yes,
It's all right. It's a bit of a
I
lighter
am-
blade.
I-
That's all.
I am trained in their use.
Oh, it wasn't about training. Just saying, it's a little bit of a lighter blade, and I was afraid maybe it'd snap in the middle of combat or something. I was just saying you might want something that's a little sturdier.
Well, for people who like to fight head on more often, I would certainly understand. But my method of training prefers hit and run tactics.
Fair enough. All right. And you said what else were you looking for?
Well, you are a blacksmith, so you might not have it. But I figured I'd go ahead and ask, just to cover my bases. Would you happen to have any leather armor here by chance, or perhaps studded?
Unfortunately, no. However, I have sold metal spike pieces for such a thing to the tanner. He may have one.
Oh, would you mind telling me where they are?
No, and he gives you directions to the
Okay,
place.
thank you very much.
Excellent.
How much for the scimitar?
Sorry. I cannot tell you guys how happy I am to be over this cold and sick.
Understandable.
Whippins.
Mm.
How much do you have on you?
I have 20 gold, all told.
25. It's the cost of
Yeah.
the scimitar.
I'm not surprised. So they say 25.
Yeah, he tells you 25.
Well, fortunately, I only have 20. There.
You have anything you trade for?
I don't have much. I have my books and notes. I unfortunately don't really have much. I don't think.
Cap.
Do any? Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm gonna ask. Because the moment Zastari would have heard that Mello was gonna start playing, she was hightailing it after Satael because she was not staying there to listen to that.
Well, he was in the town square, but yeah, you can
Yeah.
still follow after his Zatael if you want to.
Okay.
Give me a stealth check.
Sure. I can do that. That I can do. That is an 18.
Okay. What's your passive? Eric?
Mine?
Yeah.
Satiel's passive is a 12.
Okay. Yeah. You're fine. He doesn't notice you.
Yeah.
I would hear then that he's looking for something in trade for the weapon.
Mm-hmm. What are you giving up? The glaive?
No.
The rapier?
No, not the glaive. I mean, she's gonna wait to see if he figures something out, but if he leaves without it, then she will figure out what she's gonna give up.
Do you have anything else on your personage that you would be willing to give up?
I mean, I've got the short bow, I've got the rapier.
No,
I've
I
got-
I'm sorry, I meant for Sateo.
Well, he could give up his crossbow, but that's his only ranged option right now, other than magic missile.
Um,
Hold on. He'll look at him and wait. Ezra did go with him, didn't he?
Ezra went
Yeah.
with you, yes, because he wants to go looking around at some of the shops. But
That's fine.
hearing that he's short on gold, he'll offer the 5 gold pieces because I have gold with me.
Okay.
Yeah, Satya will look and was like, well, let me ask this first. If it doesn't work, then I will accept that gratefully.
Of course.
He'll look back at I think it's the dwarves, yeah?
Mhm.
It's like, is there any service I might be able to provide to you all today to compensate for the 5 gold?
Oh. We're already running the forges, so
Well, I do have some magics that can clean things, put things together, and things of that nature.
for 5 gold, that's more than a day's worth of work. But
More than a day's worth.
that depends. I mean, like, I tell you what. Follow me, and he guides you back into a storage bin closet area. It's like an armory, except it's not well organized.
Mm-hmm.
This here needs to be organized and set back up again and make it look nice so we can use it as a display for certain items. But I'll tell you what, you take care of that, and I'll try to see what we can do about maybe coming down off the price of that.
I would appreciate that. Do you have any particular order or form that you would prefer it in that you already have that might work from, or am I going from scratch?
I like the pole arms that we have, and there's a few of them in there. Laid horizontally on this wall.
He already has a book out and he's making notes.
Hang the swords vertically on this wall. Any of the armaments, we've got a couple of dummies back here that you can armor dummies that you can put those on, and you can hang any of the shields on any of the hooks and things like that you can find.
Mm-hmm.
Work on that for a little bit. We'll see what we can do about working it out.
Okay. And using his keen mind trait to memorize all of that, even though he didn't need to write it down, he still memorized it anyway. He's using the write down as a floor plan, basically, of like what goes where,
Sure.
kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
He will set that on a nearby crate that's not going to be used for anything else. Sort of like prop it up so you can see his drawing.
Mhm.
And then he will spend however long it takes neatening that up, putting it all together, using what magic he has to like clean dust off and
Yeah, you're going to be
shine
using
things.
prestidigitation to clean areas up and making it look nice and shiny.
Yeah, it's going to be spotless in here when he's done.
It takes you a bit of time to do that with casting
That's
and everything else like that. In the meantime, Zastari, Ezra, Tangaroa, Mello, what are you guys
He'll
doing?
poke his head out and say, "I'll be here for a little while. Y'all go do what you need to do," and he'll go back in.
I'm watching Mello till he's done.
I'll say, pop his head back out. By the way, Ezra, thank you. I appreciate you.
All right. What are the rest of you doing? Ezra, anything you're looking for in particular?
Ezra wants to go look around at if there's any sort of jewelry shops.
Yeah, there actually is. Because of this town.
Specifically, yeah. But
because of the town and the stuff that they deal in with crystals and the ore and stuff like that, yeah. There's a few jewelry shops.
specifically, he's looking for a sort of small gemmed bead or crystal bead of sorts.
Okay. How expensive?
It's anything that catches his eye. He's looking specifically for something in either like whites or blues.
Okay. Give me a percentage roll.
How do I do that? Wait, I'll just, you know what?
A D10 and a D100. Like, your 2 D10.
Yep. I'm just going to roll on this bad boy. That's an 83.
Okay.
Made it a little easier for me because I'm dumb.
You find some semi-precious ones that are in kind of a blue. You definitely find some stuff in some white. Most of it has cheaper costume jewelry kind of stuff.
Okay.
Semi-precious stones, things like that.
Is there any really sort of shiny looking one?
Yeah, it's valued at about 10 gold. Are you looking for just the crystal, or are you looking for like a full piece?
Just a crystal. Just like a single bead.
Oh, yeah, you can find one. It's worth like 10 gold, all said and done, just by itself.
Just by itself? Perfect. He's gonna pick that up.
All right.
What was it? Was it the blue or like just a little crystal?
It was a blue, like a pale blue one.
Okay. Perfect.
All right.
That's all he wanted.
Zastari, what are you doing while this is all going on?
Debating if she wants to stay out of trouble. Or
the answer to that's no.
I mean, yeah, but does she want to stay out of trouble, or does she go after
Ezra would have welcomed her to come with him if she really wanted to.
And then she thinks about the fact that there are probably people in this town that want to kill her. And she's relatively fond of living.
That's a good thing to be fond of.
And she just stays at the blacksmith and goes and sits in the back room and holds on to his drawing for him so that she's not in trouble.
Oh, what's the story? When did you get here?
2 minutes ago.
Well, do you like the organization so far? Does it look
absolutely fascinating?
Looks pretty good.
Thank you. He's probably like taking like the armor stand, sort of like posed into it, like kind of like holding the shield in front of him, kind of a thing.
Although, if you're looking for some leather armor, I might have some that might fit you.
Well, if you do, that would be great.
We came across some studded leather in the castle. So.
Oh. Well, I'll certainly take a look at it. Sure, thank you. I appreciate that.
She is going to, show off her old leather armor because she's already put the studded leather armor on.
Mm-hmm.
But she offers her leather armor in exchange. Not sure if it'll fit, but he's welcome to try it on.
I mean, you're talking about your leather armor?
Mm-hmm.
You'll want to get it, resized a little bit, but it surprisingly is pretty comfortable.
Well, take a little bit of resizing, but
Probably be
this
cheaper
could
than
work.
buying something new.
It would, yes. At that, I missed having a scimitar at my side.
Well, you could have asked. I got a plethora of weapons, either on me or with me. Could have found something to use until you got yourself a scimitar.
Well, I've been making do with the daggers and my crossbow, but thank you.
I'm gonna stay here because I have this really weird attachment to my life.
Doesn't
As
everybody?
one does.
And I have this very distinct feeling that some of the townsfolk may try and kill me.
He'll just sort of, as he's organizing, he'll just sort of walk over and just hand on her head, just sort of like ruffles her hair a bit. Like, well, then just try to stay out of sight, I guess. They'll just give her a smile and go back to organizing.
You try to ruffle her hair. Her hair is completely braided. Like, it is a series of small braids to keep it out
So-
of the way, so...
Head pat then.
Yes. But she sits there and very politely holds his drawing so that her hands are always visible. Always.
Okay.
91.
Thank you very much.
91. What?
Nothing.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. This is me, the player, not knowing what the hell that was, but sure.
All right, guys, real quick, I'm going to interrupt the narrative once more. Penguin Rage just subscribed. Thank you so much, Penguin.
Oh, thank you.
I don't talk about him enough. Penguin Rage is Kyle. Penguin Rage is a variety streamer. Dude, if you guys have nothing better to do than on a Friday night or a Saturday night, you need to check this guy out. On top of that, he also works with Gearbox, and he is part of their... I'm going to get this so wrong. It's something to do with marketing, so I'll let him explain it more. But anyways, super great guy. He's a fellow Texan, even though he's back in Dallas, which I won't make too much fun of him. But thank you so much for the love, man. We really appreciate it. Anyways, sorry. Back to what you guys were saying.
Yeah, he'll just organize however long it takes to do that with.
Okay. Takes you a few hours, and you finally get that all done.
Mm.
And
Make sure everything's clean, shiny. Sorry.
yeah, the female walks in and she gives a whistle. That looks better than Paul probably would have thought it would be. And she hollers for him. Man, the Southern came out really strong on that one. She yells for him to come in. And he like nods his head up and down. He says, and it's shiny. It's real looking real good. I'll tell you what, that's a lot more hard work than I thought, and it took a lot off my plate. How about I give that to you for 15 gold pieces?
Thank you. And he'll pull out 15.
I'll be honest with you, I'm surprised to sell it at all. It's not much call for many weapons these days. It's been kind of quiet around, so I'm happy to make any sort of money off of it. So thank you so much. And he takes his 15 gold, and you have a nice new scimitar.
Yeah.
He even gives you he doesn't give you a scabbard, he gives you a leather frog to keep it in so that you can draw it quickly and slip
Okay.
it. Learning new things today for those of you who didn't know. Leather thing you slide like rapiers in. It's not a real sheath, it's just kind of that leather piece. It's called a frog. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, since I'm here in the armory, probably not a bad idea to ask about a sheath that would not crack around Frostbrand.
He looks at it and says, I don't really have a sheath here that might hold that for you, but I tell you what, if you head over to the leather shop, the tanner's place, you might have something that'll fit you. All right.
Sure.
And,
I can't thank you enough. This looks fantastic.
yeah, I used to do this a lot back home. Granted, it was with a library that's the size of this town, but
Well, we appreciate you guys and thank you so much.
well, thank you. And he'll take the spare page of one of his notebooks. He'll tear it out
Mm-hmm.
and he'll give it to the guys. This is how I did everything. In case you need to use it as reference for later.
All right. He thanks you and says, "Listen, if you guys need anything while you're in town, you let him know that Bannock swears by you. You did me right here.
Well, thank you.
Bannock. Bannock.
Oh, like the food, Bannock,
Yes.
which is delicious. FYI.
Yes. You're also talking to the guy who had a dwarf named Kalbi, Kalbi. For those of you who like Korean food. Anyways, Bannock directs you to the leather shop or the tanner's place. Making your way over there, you see that the smell is the first thing you catch as you get near the tanner's, because it's not a clean job, it's messy work. However, as you make your way in, a large form fills the counter and you can see he's working on something. You hear the sound of like light tapping. As you enter in, there's a slight like ding as the door opens, and all of a sudden the top comes to a stop. The figure that turns around looks at you both, saying, How can I help you?" The rather large man that knocked your friend unconscious last night, who has a cut on his arm and a bruise under his eye.
Hello.
You come to pay me back my silver you took?
I didn't take anybody's money.
Not you. Her.
He just turns and looks at Zistari.
This is not the thief you're looking for.
Satya would actually have to probably give me a perception check first.
Hmm.
No, he does. It's to do with my flaw.
Oh, well, alrighty then.
Is a tell when she's lying?
Mm-hmm.
How do you like that natural 20?
Oh!
I think that's the only one I've rolled this campaign too. At least so far.
She doesn't, like, you don't see any jewelry on her hands, but it's almost like she's wearing a ring around her middle finger on her right hand underneath her gloves.
Okay.
Before she says, I didn't take anything.
Deception check. Because of the altercation, disadvantage.
Damn it!
I'm gonna go ahead and roll as well, actually.
I rolled a 20.
And
an 8.
What's that?
Oh, that hurts.
Well,
Oh, that hurts bad.
I mean, you still beat my insight by 1, because I got an 11 plus 2.
It's 14.
So I got a 13.
Sorry, that one fell off. Let me try again. Awesome. He looks at you and goes, "You know what? Forget it. It's a new day. I'll make that coin back some other way. How can I help you?"
Apparently we might be making your coin back for you.
Because I rolled
Yes, Atiel just smiles at, well, you can help by us apparently giving you money because we might need your services. So,
What
I am,
sort of services do you need?
well, I am in need of some other armor for myself. I have this set that doesn't entirely fit me. I was hoping maybe you could resize it for me, if you wouldn't mind. And if it helps, I could maybe heal a little bit of those wounds for you.
He just kind of shrugs off the healing part.
Okay.
Let me see that armor.
No, sure. And he'll hand it over.
He looks it over carefully and kind of looks at you for a second and goes, "You know this is made for a slighter build than you.
It's all I've got, and I don't really have enough money to buy a new set.
Because isn't it Zastari's armor?"
Yeah.
It is,
Uh-huh.
but I want to say that Satiel is actually probably more slight than she is.
She has a higher strength score than he does. Yeah,
He, and by he, I mean the DM, was trying to find a polite way to say this armor is made for a woman.
for a woman, yeah. He's like, it's
Or a more
Yeah.
feminine figure.
yeah. He's like, I'm aware, but it's all I've got
Look.
right now, and
I'm just saying. This is pretty finely made. I'm not saying I'm not good. I can. And he does have several pieces of armor. But given all of the intricacies on the armor that Zastari had worn compared to what this guy is,
Mhm.
it's like, you know, a really nice retail store version of a nice shirt, and like, you know, a $250 shirt. like her
Oh.
armor is super nice compared to his,
Okay.
which is nice. But like hers is tooled and worked and everything else. Like, I'll tell you what.
Mhm.
I'll give you, and he stares Zastari down when he says this, a fair price for your armor in exchange for a little bit of coin and a new set of armor. For you, that'll fit you.
Well, thank you very much.
What do you say? And again, he doesn't take his eyes off of Zastari. He's not negotiating with Saitael. He's negotiating with Zastari.
Yeah, Satiel notices that, and he'll just look back at her.
Sure. That's fine. Just let me disarm it. And then she walks up to it, and there's like 4 secret sheath positions within that armor that she pulls daggers out of.
How did I miss those?
He chuckles and he was
How
like,
did you miss them? I wonder. It's probably the same way you didn't notice me slip into the room. You get your nose into something and you lose sight of everything around you.
That's why I'm a very good arcanist.
Good arcanist. Everything.
And then she's going to pull the Frostbrand out and set it down. I need a sheath for this that isn't going to crack and break.
He nods up and down and says, "Would you believe I've already got something that'll work for that?"
I would, and then my next question becomes, how much is it going to cost me?
I'll tell you what. You give me your armor. I'll throw in the sheath and his armor. And I'll even give him studded leather armor. We'll call it a fair trade.
Well, that sounds fair to me.
Sure. Just one last thing, and it's gonna look like I'm ruining it. I promise I'm not. It's built into the armor for a reason. And then she definitely, it looks almost like she's undone some of the laces in the side of it, quickly pulls something out of it and slips it into her sleeve. Before she pulls those laces
Vial
tight.
of poison?
Nope.
Okay.
It is the only thing that she holds onto. It's the only thing she holds onto that proves who she says she is if she ever has to go home.
Okay.
17 perception.
Sleight of hand.
Because Satiel's curious. Since she pointed it out like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, she's not being super subtle about it because she didn't want to lose it, but she also didn't want him to think that she was ruining the armor before she gave it to him.
Yeah.
It is a folded piece of paper.
Oh, okay.
That's all you can see. You have no idea if there's something inside that paper or if there's something written on the paper. It's just a folded piece of paper.
All
that
right.
she slips into her sleeve.
He's just like, yeah. Basically in his head, it's like, ooh, paper.
Eric, Satiel has a set of studded leather armor.
Yes.
And Zastari has a sheath. When you look, realize that the inside of it is lined with a fur that fits in there.
Okay.
Yes. I have a base AC of 15 now.
And he says, "That should keep it nice and tamed for you." Now, anything else that I can help you with?
I don't think so. Not for me.
All right.
I'm fine actually. This is very nice, and he'll have put the armor on, and like he'll have it to where like the van braces are on the arm, and he's wearing the leather on his chest and everywhere else it's at. But he also has woven his robe sort of like over it, so sort of like a cloak now,
almost like a hauberk.
Yeah, pretty much. And his robe is placed over the leather, to where it's sort of like a traveling sort of like cloak / coat.
You're not going to get hot at all, are you?
No, because he can go, I feel like cooling down now. Press hesitation. Thunk.
That's fair. That is very fair. All right.
So he doesn't have to worry about it.
With you guys done your shopping trip, for all of you, Mello, give me another performance roll before we call it a night.
Oh, yes. All right. Well, that would be a 9 on the die, so that's all of 11.
Of a what?
11.
You are asked to leave the market after... Excuse me. Really what happens is it just doesn't... You see that people are spending their money on stuff. Not really paying much attention to you. So you don't earn anything. Of course, it doesn't cost you anything to play. So, anything else? We have 2 minutes left. Is there anything else that you guys would like to do? Because then I'm going to ask you a question.
I did what I wanted to do. So,
all right.
I'm good.
Are you going to go north to Port Awapal? Are you guys going to head south to Prestigio or elsewhere?
Well, I think there was kind of I think like maybe one or two other people sort of went, hey, we could do this when Satiel mentioned the ruins and going to go get passage with a ship. Because I think it's Ezra has the sailor background for the passage as long as we, work our way. So that could be an option.
Tangaroa
has a boat, but it's not a large craft, is it?
Oh, but it'll fit everybody.
It will hold everybody. It's a small boat, but it'll hold everybody. All right.
Cool.
Well, with the last of your shopping and a plan in place, that's what we're going to call it for the night. We want to thank everybody who tuned in to watch. We want to give a huge thank to everybody who donated with your bits and your subs and, of course, just watching. We appreciate you guys tuning in and keeping up with us. Don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow at the same time, 6 p.m. Central, unless something happens. with Esper Genesis, the Holocaust of the Ekajati, which has our very own Eric as well as Grumpy Cleric playing in there as well. So tune in for that. Jason, our DM, is part of the Nerd Eternal Network. You guys should check them out. They have some really cool podcasts that talk about all things nerd related. Check them out on Twitter. You can find them at Nerd Eternal. Double check my Twitter on that.
Bye.
I will make sure that I get those links added in there because I don't remember what it is off the top of my head right now. Anyways, we have that coming up on tomorrow. We have our Wednesday night showcase, which also stars our very good friend DM Jason, and that is the last of the Icons episodes. And then we'll be going into Big Eye Small Mouth on the following Wednesday, and then on Thursday,
we're gonna take a quick break.
Take a break for 1 week,
and then we'll get it back into Big Eye Small Mouth.
Okay, so 2 weeks or 1 week?
I think so, 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Okay, so we're going to take a 2-week hiatus after this Wednesday, and then we're going to be back with Big Eye Small Mouth being run by...
On the 25th.
On the 25th, so you guys should tune in for that. It should be a lot of fun. Also, we have on Thursdays our beautiful DM Maddie, who is running Stride, so make sure you guys tune in for that. That is also a lot of fun. I want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. It means a lot to me, so we appreciate it. Take care of yourselves until we see you next time. I am going to go chug some more cough medicine and get some sleep. So good night, everyone. Thank you all so much. Take care.